Hello everyone, happy Thursday. Only it's not Thursday, it's Sunday. I don't want to confuse you, but I am recording this video for my Thursday Night Live February 1st on Sunday afternoon, January 21st. So it's actually Sunday afternoon, January 21st, and this video will be posted to my Facebook in the live spot for February the 1st. I have to do some traveling for the next couple of weeks, and I didn't want to miss my Facebook Lives. So even though I'm not there live, I will be there, and I've got some fun cards for you. I've been busy creating, and I've been so excited to share all these various cards with you. So we'll get into the to-go class here in just a second. Let me introduce myself. My name is April Davis. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. I live in Spring Hill, Kansas, and I'm just so excited to have you all here tonight, or today. So let's get started. I want to share with you, first of all, get the announcements out of the way. I want to talk to you about the new subscription club that I have created. And let me go ahead and switch my camera a bit. Give me just one second. There we go. I wanted to share it with you because I created this subscription club so that people would have the opportunity to continue to create with me in the comfort of their own home. It's not live. Everything is recorded. I will have a tutorial for you, and then for every class or every card that I show you, there will be a tutorial. So you'll have the step-by-step instructions. How is that different from what I'm doing right now? Well, the difference is you can do it anytime you want to, but additionally, I'm stepping the cards up a bit. So I'm going to challenge you a little bit more. The cards are going to be more involved. And again, since you can do them at your own time, you can watch the videos, you can go through the tutorials and create your own cards. So let me share with you, excuse me, I'm coming down with a cold, getting ready to travel on Tuesday. And I woke up this morning and I think I have a cold coming on, so pardon me. We're going to be utilizing the paper florist dies. The stamping are sentiments that you can select from any stamp set that you have. But what's fun about these dies is they help you to make flowers. And so you can see this one die, you actually will cut 4 petals, or you'll be cutting flowers here, or the insides of the flowers and the leaves of the flowers. So there's a number of dies in this that then will help you to create these beautiful cards. And you can see how they're all pieced together. We've got some embossing on this card. We've got a simple happy birthday card, but so pretty. Another thank you for everything card, utilizing, the various colors that we've got. I'll provide all of the card stock. I will provide anything that is die cut that is not in the paper florist dies, and I will do any embossing. So you've got everything you need to create 4 cards, plus you'll be able to create a beautiful 6x6 project that you can put into a frame, and perhaps put it in your own home or share it as a gift with someone. So you will receive all of everything to make these cards. You're also going to receive a brand new bolt of ribbon. So you'll have ribbon to go with your cards. And then I'm also featuring the Inked Botanicals Designer Series paper. So you'll receive half a pack of Designer Series paper, more than enough to create the cards that I'm going to give you. But what's fun about it is that with the Designer Series paper and the ribbon that I'm giving you, in addition to, you're going to have plenty enough to create more cards than what I've actually shared with you. And then last but not least, I'm including the precision tip glue bottle that you can fill with our Tombow Mono adhesive glue. I'm trying to get in the right frame. I just take it and I fill the glue bottles, but I love the precision tip. You see me use it in my lives all the time. There's a lot of intricate pieces here, and having a little precision tip glue bottle is going to help with that. So that is the April Davis Creations Create Happiness Subscription Club. You will find all the information for this club out on my website. And I typically tend to pull that up just in case you're new and you've not been with me before when I share this. Give me just a second. Basically what you'll do is you'll go to aprildaviscreations.com, and when you get there you can go to clubs and classes, and then there's information about my to-go class that I'm doing today, but there's also information about the Create Happiness Club. This club is only 6 times a year, so it's every other month. So all of the information for this Create Happiness Club is right here. So it's worth a try. It's a subscription club. If you choose not to participate after you've done one, that's fine. You can do every other one if you choose to do that. You do get a special little bonus if you do 6 of the subscriptions in a row. Again, that's one every other month. I invoice you or every other month I invoice you. So it's not an auto pay. At this point in time, I'm going to invoice you, and you can try the ones you like and not do the ones you don't like. So anyway, I encourage you to give it a shot. This class today is a to-go class, so I wanted, since I was here on my website, wanted to bring up the to-go classes as well so that you can see what those are. So I'm not going to scroll down because I'm in advance, so I still have to-go classes that are coming before this February 1st one. But you'll find all the information. If you like the class that I do, then you have the option to get that class for free by placing an order in my online store. So all that information is there. So let me come back to my workstation so you guys can see. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to take me down, and I'm going to start, give me just a second. I'm going to start showing you the cards that we're going to work on today. So today we're featuring the Jungle Pals stamp set, and there's also a die set that comes with it. So you have all your Jungle Pals. You know, I don't typically do the cutesy cards, but I've really been stepping outside of my comfort zone and working on them. And it's gotten easier for me because I have grandchildren now, and so the grandchildren like the cutesy cards, but I've been having so much fun with them. So we're going to use the Jungle Pals, and let me bring in the cards that we're going to be doing today. So we have an alligator, part of the Jungle Pals, a little toucan bird, and then last but not least, we have a tiger. All of these are featured in our Sale-A-Bration Flyer. The Jungle Pals are in the Sale-A-Bration Flyer, and you can, let me keep flipping through. You've got the Jungle Pals over here, and you have the dies over here. They're free if you place an order, a qualifying order. So each of these are free with a $50 order or a $100 order. So as you see these and you decide that this might be something you're interested in, just know you guys can get it for free. Celebration ends on February the 29th. This is going to be featured on my live February the 1st. So you've got some time to think about it. So let me move these out of the way, and we're going to go ahead and get started with our first card. Let me bring my kit in. Actually, we'll do this one first. Bring my kit in. And you can see that there's a lot of pieces to this card that I've die cut. So to save us some time, I've got the kit here, but I did a lot of the die cutting ahead of time because I wanted to show you how to assemble the card. So we've got the Sweet Sorbet, or let me see, is this Sweet Sorbet? This is not Sweet Sorbet. So I'm going to bring in my handy dandy catalog. I've been doing a lot of creating, and this is Poppy Parade. Poppy Parade. So because I've been doing a lot of creating, I've been using a lot of different colors. we've got our designer series paper that we're going to utilize. And then what I've done is I've cut out all of our various pieces that we're going to include on this card as well. So I'm going to move them all off to the side because we're not going to assemble them yet. This piece of basic white is for the inside of the card, and this piece of basic white is for us to be able to stamp the alligator. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to move these out of the way, and we're going to get started with the alligator. And I'm going to use our Memento ink to stamp him, and this is a rubber stamp, so I don't need my piercing mat this time around. I tend to turn my stamps over so that I can see how I'm getting my color on and making sure that I get it totally coated. So we're going to go ahead and get him stamped. We're going to be punching him out, but before we punch him out, we need to be able to color him in. So let me go ahead and get this cleaned up, clean my stamp off, and my Stampin' chamois is just a little dry, so I'm going to add a little bit of water to it. I've got a little spray bottle here, and I'm just going to squirt it up a little bit to give me some moisture in it, and then we're going to go ahead and start coloring. So I'm going to be utilizing the dark Granny Apple Green and the light Granny Apple Green, and I think I'm going to start by coloring him in the light first, and then I'll do my highlighting in the dark. So let's go ahead and get him all colored. I'm going to avoid his teeth. Get in here. So give me just a second to get him colored in. I do love coloring with our Stampin' blends. They're alcohol markers, and they blend really well. They're easy to color with. We do have regular markers as well that you could certainly use, but I like the effect that I get from using the Stampin' blends. So let's go ahead and get him colored in. You might be able to see outside the window. I mean, obviously it is Sunday afternoon. It's still cold here, and so our snow is not melting, and I've gotten some weather advisories that we've got some more weather coming in this evening into tomorrow. I'm hoping that it comes in overnight and it goes away sooner than later. I'm traveling on Tuesday, and I just don't want the weather to affect my travel. I'm traveling to Maryland, going to the East Coast, and everything that's here follows us to the East Coast. But I'd kind of like to get there without any delays and get that part of it over. So I'm adding in some dark here, and basically the dark is just going to help to add some highlights to our little alligator. I'm going to color in his, I'm going to come back and color those in just a second. I want this ink to be still fairly wet when I do the blending, so I'm going to go ahead and get this down first, and then we'll get it blended, and then I'll color in his little spines that he has. So let me get this done. I feel like this cold is, it's just making, I think it's going to be a head cold. It's making it hard for me to breathe. So if I sound like I'm talking through my nose, or I can't breathe through my nose, I don't know. I just feel like I sound weird. So apologies for that. I'm hoping that it's going to be short-lived. But basically you can see I'm just coloring over and trying to blend the darker edges, and they'll soften up as I go over them, and it'll provide a little bit of highlight for this little gator that we've got going on right here. So I'm going to come back in now that I've done that, and I'm going to color in his spines. I like to use the bullet tip nub. There's a brush tip as well. I don't typically tend to use the brush tip all that often unless I'm working on a large area. But there, we've got our gator all colored in. So the next step, of course, is to get him cut out. So I'm going to bring back in my set and pull out my little gator. And I've got my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss. And we'll go ahead and get him cranked through. Get my sandwich down. I think I'm going to use a little bit of low tack adhesive tape just to hold my die in place so it doesn't slide while I'm running this through. So I'll get it lined up. And let's see. Go right here and crank him through. So pull this all out of the way. Save my tape, and there we go. We've got our gator. So put this over here. So now what we can do is start building this card. Now this card is a fun fold card, if you will. When you open it up, I've got a vine in here with some flowers, and then it folds over. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I've got it folding over on itself. Excuse me, but I don't. It's more of an effect or the way that it looks versus it's not going to open up. So let's go ahead and get our Poppy Parade. Let me find my bone folder and burnish this edge down. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fold it back on itself, like so. And now we can start putting things together. So let's go ahead and put in our basic white cardstock. This is where you will place your message if you choose to, or stamp. Let me get my glue flowing. There we go. So we'll get this adhered to the inside, and I can already see that that glue that I had on me has transferred to the front of my card. So let me see, it's wiping away, so that's easy enough. Otherwise I would have gotten out my eraser. So we've got that, and then to the inside of that we're going to put the larger of the designer series paper, and it's going to go end to end. So let's go ahead and get this on. These little Jungle Pals are really so cute. I really had a lot of fun working with them. Like I said, I don't tend to, when I'm selecting the stamp sets that I want to work with, I don't tend to go with the cutesy, but I've really been challenging myself. And because I've been challenging myself, I have been having really a lot of fun. It's like, I don't know why I wasn't doing more with these sooner, because they are a lot of fun. And especially if you've got little ones in your family, or it doesn't even need to be for a little one. I would love getting a card like this. So I'm just adhering the designer series paper all over everything right now, so that we can start building the card up with our alligator. So I'm gonna put this off to this side. I'm making sure that my hearts are facing up. It is a directional paper, so I don't want them to be upside down, but now we've got this part of it done. And so now we can start working on the rest of it. So one of the first things I did to get this flap to stay down, I just want it to be more of the design. So I'm gonna take some dimensionals, and I'm just gonna place the dimensionals down. And this will actually elevate it a bit, so that you'll actually see the dimension even though it won't move. So now that I've got those down, I can take this off. There we go. Did I get it? Oh, there it is. All right, and then press that down. So now we're ready to start decorating the front of it. So we've got a number of layers. I'm going to bring in our cardstock, and then I've got some layers that I'm going to do with the grasses that I've got. So I'm just gonna kind of look at how I did this before, start laying this down, and see how I want to do this. So first and foremost, I had grass down on my piece of blue cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and actually I'm going to move it over here a little bit because it's going to be off my base a little bit. So I'm just going to put just enough glue right here at the bottom. I want there to be some flow, if you will, to my grass, so I don't necessarily have to have it adhered down at the top of it. I just want it adhered at the bottom. And then I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to adhere it to the back. So again, I'm going to move it over just a little bit. And I'm going to put the glue on the back of the base. And then I can adhere this, and I'll hold it for just a second so that it can adhere. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple of these leaves and we're going to start tucking them in. So there's one that's tucked in right here. So I'm going to tuck it in, and again, I don't need a lot of glue. I'm just going to put a little bit right along here. And I'm going to tuck it in. Let me see. I want to tuck it in under this one. Another reason why you don't want to glue it down directly, the top part, just the bottom part. And then I'm going to actually put another leaf here, but I'm going to pop that leaf up, so I'm going to put a dimensional behind it. And let me grab this and I'll put a dimensional behind it. The alligator is actually going to hide it, so you're not going to see much of it. I want to see. Yeah, I did not. I didn't think I did, but I was checking to see if I'd put any dimensionals further up, and I did not. So now this leaf is going to fall off over here. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to wait on my alligator just a minute, and we've got these two little flowers that we can adhere. And I'm going to place one just right off to the side. So I'm going to put just a little bit of glue right here, and we'll place it up here off to the side. I'm only putting it on the very edges, but I've got to hold it for just a second so it sticks. Excuse me. And then I've got another one that I'm going to go ahead and place on top of that. So I'll just put it on those two upper leaves, and we're going to put those right here. Okay. Whoop. Gotta wait for it to adhere. So we've got our flowers down. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put some dimensionals behind our gator. So let me do that. Let's see. Probably I'm going to do 3-ish. Maybe a 4th. Do it right up here on the head. All right, so let's get those off, and then we can get our gator adhered. You like how I nicknamed it? It's an alligator, but I'm calling him a gator. All right, so we'll put him over here, bring him down just a tad, and put him over here. And then the last piece that we're going to add is our little heart that we've die cut. And we'll just put one right in the center there and set it up here. And let me see, do I want to tuck it in? Maybe I'm going to tuck it in just a little bit. Tuck it in. There we go. There we go. Okay, so now we've got our little scene, if you will, built with our gator. We have to get him adhered to the card. And we're only going to adhere part of him. So it's going to be basically, I would say, from this leaf down so that we get it centered, or about centered. But I am going to put him on with dimensionals. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of our Pebbled Path twine, and it's very, very curly. I'm just going to pull off a little bit of it. And we're going to just make some loop-de-loops. That's what I call them, little loop-de-loops. so that they're sticking out. And the way that I'm going to help it to stick out is we're going to put down, we're going to get this put down, then we'll put dimensionals on top of it, and hopefully that'll help to hold it. So let me just, there's no rhyme or reason or method to this madness. I just want to get a little bit of ribbon or twine behind it just for an effect. So let's go ahead and we'll do it about like that. And then I'm going to start to take some dimensionals to kind of help hold it down. I may pull in my glue dots too, but we're going to see. Because I am going to put this on with dimensionals when we adhere it to the card. But I want to help it along. Excuse me. Let's see. I'm going to put a little bit up here too. So it looks like I'm using a lot, and I am. But part of it is so that I can adhere. Did I get that on there? So I can adhere the twine to the card. So let me get this off. And then the rest of it will be adhering the card to, or the seam to the base of the card. All right. I don't want to go too far over. Let me see. We've got here, so I want to make sure that I'm not going too far over with those dimensionals. I'm going to move this one because I did go over too far. I think this one will be fine, but I can move it over just a little bit. Hopefully you guys can see. All right, very good. That one's not sticking because I pulled it up. It's on the back of the card, so I'm not worried about it. So we'll just add another one. And then I think I'll add another one over here just to help. And then the rest of this twine is just going to be loosey-goosey, but it'll control itself once I get it adhered to the card. So let's go ahead and take the backs of these off, and I can get it lined up, and then we'll work on the inside of the card. The inside of the card's pretty simple, but I'll show you what we're doing, and then I'll show you some embellishments that we're using this time that I haven't actually shared with you before. So let's get these off. All right, there we go. So now Mr. Gator is going to get centered about right here in the card. So I'm going to press this all down. Very cool. I am seeing a bit of this on the back, which is not my intent. So let me think about how I want to do this. Do I want to pull this up and move it over a little bit? I think I will. Sometimes you adjust as you're going along. I'll pull this one up. And let's see, I'll adjust it this way. Make sure it's even this way. Very good. All right. So it's going to be off to the left just a little bit. Still looks good. And then I'm going to bring in what we call the loose daisy embellishments. Comes in a little container like this, and there's just little daisies in here. So I'm actually going to put some little glue dots in the center of these flowers, and then I'll use my take your pick putty end, and I'm going to reach in and I'm going to pick up a couple of these daisies, and I'm going to place them in the center of these flowers. Okay, so the front of the card is done. Looking good. Let's open this up, and we are going to actually adhere this vine to the inside, and I think I'm just going to line it up in the corner and bring it down. And the way that I'm going to do this is I'm just going to be putting glue on the backs of these leaves. So there's just little dots on the backs of the leaves. I'll give a little dot at the top of the stem, glues on the backs of the leaves, little dots, and I'll put one down here. And then I'm going to take my tweezers just to help me out so that I have a little bit more control. But I'm going to line the top part here, and I'm going to twist it just enough so that the bottom part will line up down here. And then we also have a few little daisies on this one. So I'm going to put a daisy. Let me move this over just a tad because I think it's on my fold. There we go. And we're going to put a daisy here. And I think we're going to put a daisy down here. So we'll do our take your pick again. Pick up a little daisy flower right here and right here. And then you can go ahead and you can put your message in here. Above, below, you can stamp or you can write. Looks like I have some glue there, so let me bring out my little adhesive remover. And I've got that. So this is all ready to go. Close it up, and we've got card number 1. So fun. These little critters are really, really cute. All right, so let's go ahead and we will move this one off to the side, and I'm gonna bring in the second card. The second card is our little toucan bird. Let me move my little dimensional backs off, and let's bring that kid in. All right, but we've got our crushed curry cardstock, and then we've got some designer series paper, and I've already cut out a few of the leaves, and I've already cut out one of the flowers. Then we've got a piece of basic white to be able to stamp our sentiment on, and I've got a piece of basic white to stamp our toucan on, and we're gonna get him colored up. So let's go ahead and get our stamping done first, and I'm gonna bring out my toucan bird and my Memento black ink. So we're gonna go ahead and get him inked up. Good coating there. And I'm gonna go ahead and get him stamped. There we go. I'm gonna put him off to the side, clean up my stamp here, and I'm gonna pull out my Pebbled Path ink, and I'm going to stamp the sentiment. So let's go ahead and open this up, and we'll get the sentiment done while we're stamping. Here's my little piece of cardstock for that. And we're gonna stamp this off to the side. So I'm gonna line this up in the center off to the side, because we're gonna put the toucan over it. I'll line it up here so that I can just see a little better. And I think I'm good. So we're gonna go down. There we go. Clean this off. And we'll set this off to the side. All right, so now what we need to do is we need to color in our toucan. So I'm gonna bring in our blends again, and this time we're going to utilize the, excuse me, the dark pumpkin pie and the light pumpkin pie, and then I'm gonna color his body in the dark basic black. So let's go ahead and get his beak colored in first, and we're gonna use the dark pumpkin pie on the edges, or the outside I should say, of his beak, and then we're gonna color in here as well. Very gently get this small area. Okay, and then we'll use the light pumpkin pie for this additional, I'm gonna call it a stripe. I have seen a toucan. My husband and I took a trip to Costa Rica a number of years ago, and it was so cool to see a toucan up in the trees with the howler monkeys. And Costa Rica, we were in the jungle, and it was a lot of fun. But this toucan doesn't look quite like the toucan I saw, but very close. So let me go ahead and finish getting him colored in, and then we're gonna go ahead and get him die cut, and then we can assemble this card. So let me go ahead and get this part of it done. Trying to be very careful to stay in the lines. Here. It's hard when I'm recording these because I want to talk to you guys, because you guys comment and then I'm able to respond back to you, and I'm just all by myself today recording, so it makes it a little bit harder for me. All right, let's go ahead and bring this back in, and we will pull out the toucan bird die. So open this up, and toucan is right here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull out the tiger because we're going to do the tiger as well. So I'll just go ahead and get him pulled out while we're in there. And oh, I do need this. And we're going to pull our plates back. Get this lined up with my low-tack tape. I think that's his little crown, I'm going to call it. So we'll get this lined up. I am excited to have these dies because even though I don't mind fussy cutting, I would prefer the die cut than the fussy cut. So it's nice to have these dies for these little guys. All right, so I'm going to move this off to the side. Like that, and there we go. We've got our toucan. So now we can start assembling this card. So we do have a little bit more stamping that we're going to do. Let me fold this over. Oh, and so, sorry guys, I got to step up for just a second to grab the ink because the ink is not in my, it wasn't in my box that I had all my pieces together. Part of the reason for that is because I have been doing a lot of creating, as I mentioned before, and so I try to keep everything together, but I'm using multiple colors across multiple card sets, and so sometimes they don't get back into their correct containers. So, but we're all good now. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some paper down just because I'm going to be stamping off. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to take the Enjoy Your Day, which is part of our sentiment, and we're going to create our background. So I'm going to use the Cajun Craze, and we're going to start up here in the corner, stamp that, and then I'm just going to start stamping in a line going down with this. And let's see, I want to do maybe here. Want to make sure I get a good coating on it. Part of my designer series paper will cover it, not all of it. So, got that, and then we'll come off here a bit. Make sure I get a good coverage. You're not going to see a lot of it. It's going to be behind the designer series paper, but I'm still trying to do this correctly. And I got that one too close to it, so hopefully the designer series paper will cover that up. I'm going to open up my cardstock now so that I don't have the worry of the flap moving. So let me do here and here and here. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do one more there. All right, so we've got that all stamped. So we'll move this off to the side, and my stamp needs to be cleaned. So we'll go ahead and get that taken care of. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our designer series paper and we are going to adhere it to our card, but we're going to do it with dimensionals. So I'm just thinking to myself, I think we're good. I'm going to do it with dimensionals. So let me find my dimensionals that I have here. And let's see. We'll do them on the back, each corner. Designer series paper isn't quite as sturdy as cardstock is, so I'm adding a few extra dimensionals. I use extra dimensionals anyway, but with the designer series paper, I want to make sure that I don't have any sag, and because it's not as strong as cardstock, I decided to use a few extra dimensionals. So let me get these backings off. There we go. And then we'll go ahead and get this centered. I'm gonna have my sunshine facing up, and I'm gonna center it side to side, top to bottom. I'm not gonna press it down until I get a chance to look at it. Make sure I'm happy with it. I think it's good. So we're gonna press that down. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our sentiment and we're going to just glue our sentiment down, and we're gonna center it. So I'm going to take it and glue it right here. Just in the center of it. It doesn't need to be on the edges. So we've got that glued down. Make sure, I think, yeah, maybe up a little bit on this side. Just trying to make sure I get it straight. Excuse me. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll take our leaves, and again, we're just gonna put a little bit on the back here, the lower part of it, and we can put this leaf up here, coming off the page, or off the where the sentiment is. And then we'll do the same thing with this leaf. And I'm gonna have it come off about right here. There we go. And actually, I'm gonna move it up just a little bit so it's up closer to the other leaf, because then I'm gonna have the toucan over the top of that. And the toucan is gonna go on dimensionals. So let's go ahead and get the dimensionals on him. So we'll put one up here and another one down here. Trying to make sure I've got it centered appropriately so the dimensionals are not showing through, and they are not. So now I can go ahead and pop him up here, about right here. And then we've got the little flower that we're gonna go ahead and adhere as well. I'm just gonna glue the flower down, put a little bit in the center, and we'll adhere the flower down right about here. Tuck it in underneath. There we go. Hold it down for just a sec. And we're gonna bring in one of our daisies again. So I'm gonna put a little dot of glue. I've got some twine fuzz on my glue bottle. A little dot of glue, and then we'll bring our little daisies back in again. This time I'm gonna use a white daisy since we have a yellow flower. So I'll put my daisy down here. Okay, and then I'm gonna bring out our dots. They're the 2023, 2025 in color dots. I'm having so much fun utilizing these dots. And Pebbled Path is one of my favorite colors. And so I've actually run out of them. I've got 2 packages here. I've run out of Pebbled Path on one of them. So I'm using, I've opened up a second pack so that I can still have some Pebbled Path. So we're gonna put our dimensionals down, or dimensionals. We're gonna put our dots down. And I wanna make sure I keep it on my plastic so I'm not getting it on my glass mat. So we're gonna put some there, and then we're gonna put a couple down here. Let's see, right there, and maybe one right here. And this card is now done. And enjoy your day. How fun. I love that little toucan. All right, so now we have card number 3. And card number 3 is going to be our tiger. So we have our Pebbled Path cardstock. Excuse me, we have some designer series paper, and I've got a piece of pumpkin pie for our tiger. And then I've got some pieces already cut for the design that we've got going across the designer series paper. I've got some leaves cut that we're gonna tuck the tiger into, and then I've got a strip of crumb cake that we're going to stamp our sentiment on. So let's go ahead and get our tiger and get our sentiment stamped, and then we'll start building our card. So the sentiment is going to be in, excuse me, Pebbled Path. So I'm gonna bring it up, and the sentiment that we're gonna use is "There's no one like you." Now remember, I was talking about how this particular set does not have any sentiments. They're just Jungle Pals. So you can utilize any set of sentiments that you want to use. So the Enjoy Your Day was coming from the Heartfelt Hellos, and There's No One Like You is coming from our Happy Labels set. But I love to collect sentiments. I never know what I'm going to need, so I just collect up all my sentiment sets, and then when I've got stamp sets like this that don't have any sentiments, I can pick and choose and do whatever I want to do. Could have done a happy birthday one. I could have done anything. So let me go ahead and make sure I get this inked up appropriately. And I'm going to test it. I don't like the way that it looks on the back. I think I got it darker in some places and not in others. So I'm going to turn it again just so that I can see. You guys can kind of see what I'm talking about, or maybe you can see what I'm talking about. And it was just because I tapped it too hard, so I'm going to do it lighter from the top. And now I'm going to go ahead and get this stamped. So I'm going to get it centered. Apologies if my head is in the way. I want to make sure that I do it off to the right hand side. So we've got it. There we go. And now I'm going to stamp the tiger, and the tiger is going to be stamped in the Memento Black. So let me go ahead and get this put away. Get my Memento Black out. And I'm going to bring my tiger up. I have a big tiger. Yep. Let me make sure my paper was big enough. I thought it was, but I just wanted to double check. So I'm going to, again, ink it this way so that I can see that I'm getting a good coating of ink on this all over. And now we can go ahead and get him stamped. And because of the fact that I'm stamping him on a piece of cardstock that's already got color to it, all I really need to do is die cut him out. I tried to do some highlighting to him on my sample card, and I just wasn't really happy with the way that it was looking. So I'm not going to do that today. The other reason why I've got this, that I'm pressing and just kind of holding it here for just a few seconds, is I want to make sure that I get a good transfer. And because this is black and I want to get as much black ink to transfer as possible, I'm giving it some extra time. So there we go. We've got that. Let me clean this up, and then we're going to go ahead and die cut him, and we can start to build this card. So let's go ahead and get him cleaned up. There we go. And one more time, we're going to bring out the Stampin' Cut and Emboss, and we're going to get the tiger cut. Kind of looks like Tony the Tiger, doesn't he? Except for, I think Tony the Tiger maybe, did he have a white chest? I can't remember, but I remember him being orange like this. But I can't remember if he had a white chest or not. I'm going back to my childhood. I don't think I've seen Tony the Tiger in a long, long time. Was it a cornflake commercial? I don't even remember. Oh my goodness. All right, so let's go ahead and get Tony cut out. Oh, well, all right. It looks like it moved a little bit. We'll see if it's bad. If it's bad, then what we can do is we can do a little bit of trimming. But it looked like it slid just a little bit down by his tail. And so his tail looks really thick to me. The rest of it looks okay, but his tail looks thick. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to trim just a little bit. You don't necessarily have to do this, and I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do it, but I want to take off some of that orange. So I'm going to start here and trim off some of that orange with my snips, and then I can start on this side and kind of take it in a little bit. Not a ton, I just didn't like all that extra orange. So as you can see, you can do up your trimming and kind of even that out just a little bit. I've got just a tiny little sliver that I'd like to grab. There we go. All right, I'm happy. So let me move this stuff out of the way, and we will start to assemble this card. All right, move this out of the way, and we're gonna bring our card base back in and our little strips. So we're gonna go ahead and fold this. and bone folder. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put our designer series paper down. This is from the softly stippled paper. Look how pretty that is. But that's not the side I want to use. I love this side. It looks kind of like a woven tweed kind of look. So we're going to use the softly stippled, which actually happens to be a free paper in Sale-A-Bration as well. But we're going to use that for our base on our cardstock. So we're going to start with that. Okay. And then we're just going to take 4 strips of cardstock and we're going to just spread them out across the card. So I'm going to start with this one and get it centered where I want it to go, and then I'll follow through with the others. So I'm going to come in a bit, probably about like that, and make sure we've got a pretty even from this end to this end. It looks good. And then I'm going to take the next one and I'm going to do it on the other end, because then what I can do is I can center the middle one between the two. So I'm going to come in again and I'm looking to make sure that I get this in approximately the same. So I'm sliding. That's one of the nice features of the glue, is that I can slide, and then I'm just eyeing it to see if I've got it basically lined with the first strip. And then what I'll do is I'll just take this one and then I can center it right in the middle. This one I think I need to slide just a little bit if I can. It looks like it might be a little crooked. And then we'll take this one and get it centered, and then we'll have that part done. So now, once we finish this part, then we can weave the tiger in and out of the grass that we cut. All right, so let me get this centered up. I may have to pick it up and look at it for just a second. It looks a little high. I'm just eyeballing. I mean, certainly you guys could measure it out, use your ruler and measure it out, but I'm just gonna eyeball it. It's not exactly perfect, but close enough for me. All right, so let's look at this. We're going to put the 2 leaves behind the tiger, and then we're going to weave the tiger into the leaves as he's stalking. So let me do that first. I'm going to get him into the leaves. See how I want to do this. I really like, which one do I want out? Just playing right now. I could do it exactly like I did before, but I don't know if I want to do it exactly like I did before. They really got him right behind, coming out front of this. Maybe. I'm not trying to make this complicated. I just want to have fun with it, but I kind of like, see if I can get it to come down further. Nah. Let's see. Do this. I'd like the grass. Okay, well, we'll just give him the benefit of the doubt, and we'll put him behind these. So he's stalking through the grass. Okay, so I think the way that I did this before is I went ahead and I put down my sentiment first. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to adhere my sentiment. Now I put the sentiment down with dimensionals. So we're going to go ahead and get a nice layer of dimensionals here. And then I adhered the grass to the layer of the sentiment. So let's go ahead and get that done. So we'll get this down. All Alrighty. And then I'm going to go ahead and get this tiger glued down. And I think I decided that I was going to put him behind these leaves, like so maybe. I kind of like that. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put glue behind his feet. I just need to get him glued down to the sentiment. And then once he's glued to the sentiment, then I'll put more dimensionals behind him so that I can adhere him to the card. So let's go ahead and get him glued down here. About like so. Sliding him around. I want to get him placed right. Kind of like his tail on top of the sentiment. So we've got that. And now we're going to take the leaves and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to adhere a leaf behind him here. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue. So what we're doing is we're building another scene with these little jungle pals. So I'm going to put that there. And then we're going to put the other one behind his head. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue here. Get that down like so. And then what we can do is we can turn him over and I'm going to add dimensionals to the rest. So we've got some here, we've got some back here behind the leaves. And this will help then adhere him to the card. Where else do I want dimensionals? Maybe right here, maybe, I think. I think that's good. I don't know that do I need, oh, what the heck. I'm just gonna put another one right here. Just so that I've got good adherence. Going crazy with the dimensionals today. The rest of them is gonna be popped up so that it's got a little bit of freedom. So let's go ahead and get these off. I don't think I used this many on the first one, but that's just how I'm feeling today. I want more dimensionals. So nothing wrong with that. This tiger is going to adhere to his card very well. All right, pull these off. And then I'm going to center this up a little bit from the bottom of these. And then this is going to stick over the edge just a teeny tiny bit. I want to make sure that I have my leaves on the card as well. So double checking to see if that's straight. It looks straight to me. We're going to do a couple things to embellish it. We're going to put a couple of daisies on this one as well. So let me just put a couple dots here so we can get our daisies on. And then I'm going to utilize the twine again, and we're going to give it a little bow. So let's put a daisy up here. Okay, and make sure it's sticking. And then we'll take another daisy. I love my little putty end to my, take your pick so that I can pick these daisies up. Make sure those get adhered. And then I'm gonna pull the twine out. And let me see, I think I want to move this one up just a little bit, move this one down just a little bit, and then we'll pull the twine out and we'll tie just a little bow. Excuse me. So we'll get our bow tied. It's a little twisted, so I'm trying to work the twists out. It's very curly. It's on this bolt and very, very curly. So trying to manage that curl as well. Okay, I think I like that. I'm going to do that. Oh, I don't know if you guys saw, I just realized what I did. Do you see I've got ribbon on the end of these snips? And the reason I have ribbon on the end of the snips is so that I can snip my ribbons and my twines. I don't use them on paper, but I obviously did use it on paper when I was trimming up his little tail and didn't realize that I had done that. I don't like to use my ribbon snips on paper because paper will dull them. So I have to be more vigilant about paying attention and not getting pulling them out to use on paper. I didn't even notice that I'd done that. But we've got this. We'll let the twine relax just a little bit. But here we are, card number 3. He turned out so cute. So cute. Let's color in his nose. He needs a black nose. Let me do that. I didn't do any highlighting on this one, but I do think he needs a black nose. So let's go ahead and give him a black nose. Okay, now our tiger's done. All right, so let's bring in all 3 of the cards that we did this afternoon for our Facebook Live on February the 1st. We've got this one, and then we've got this one that we did, and then we have our gator that we did. All of them so cute, utilizing the Jungle Pals stamp set and dies that you will find in the Sale-A-Bration Flyer. So if you like this set, you certainly could get it for free by placing a qualifying order, and then you get to select it for free out of the Sale-A-Bration Flyer. So let me come back and see you guys. There we go. Very good. Still Sunday afternoon. It's not snowing, although we do have some weather coming, but I think it's going to be like wet precip. So just a reminder, this is a to-go class. If you are interested in getting the kit, and one thing that I might mention is that maybe you don't want to use the Jungle Pals for this kit, but you like the kit and the way that it was designed. If you've got something in your library that you think would be a good fit for this kit, you can get the kit for free just by placing an order in my online store. We've got 3 cards. You get 2 of each card. And you can just create on your own with these kits. You don't have to use the Jungle Pals specifically. What else do I want to tell you? Celebration goes through the 29th of February. We also have our starter kit special going on with the glass mat that you saw me working on. And I will be gone now for 2 weeks. I'm going to be in Maryland for 2 weeks. I will be accessible. I will be checking my emails. I will be checking my Facebook. So you're going to see that I'm being active. I just can't take my studio, my craft room with me. So I had to get all my crafting activities done before I left. So there will be a Facebook Live recording this coming Thursday. And the following week, there will be a second Facebook Live recording, the one that you just saw me working on today, and then I'll be back the following week. So anyway, thank you for watching ahead of time. I'm so glad you guys are following me. I upload these to YouTube after I've had a chance to get the recordings downloaded. So please follow me on Facebook. Please follow me on YouTube, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Take care. Bye.